So this is going to be a little bit of a different video. I had hoped to get this out sooner, but I've been a little bit under the weather. But for me, 2024 was a huge year. It was a huge year in so many ways. I don't think I've ever had so much happen in a single year. 2024 taught me so much. Taught me so very much. January showed me how much more capable I am than I had ever thought before. I put myself through something that I wasn't sure I was capable of, and turned out I was far more capable than I ever gave myself credit for, because I thought everybody else was much more proficient. February showed me the strength of my conviction and gave me a glimpse into my voice and the power of my words. In February, I had the opportunity to really stand in my conviction, to really stand for what I believed in, and to help people, to truly help people from what I saw was injustice happening towards them. And when I saw the level of my reach, I was shocked. I didn't realize that I had the ability to impact so many so profoundly. And with that, the realization that having that ability also brings with it hidden animosities. That was a lesson for sure. A heartbreaking one, but a necessary one. I'm so stuffy right now. March helped me work through disappointment and rejection, and taught me how to work through grief in healthy ways. Yeah. Because of what happened in February, March was a chance for me to process through my hurt, through my sorrow, through my disappointment, because I was seen in that instance as enemy number one by someone that I looked up to and held such high regard for, and who I looked to as a mentor. And to know that no matter what my intentionality was in anything that I said or did, it was perceived in the way that it was perceived, and there's nothing I can do about that. And learning to accept that is really hard. It's a really hard thing. I think especially as a neurodivergent person with rejection sensitivity dysphoria, like, that hit so hard, and it hit me for a very long time. It took me months to be okay again. It was so bad that at a certain point of time, I could no longer talk to spirit. I couldn't trust myself and anything that I was getting from spirit. And I was even pushing spirit away. The more they reached out to me, the more I pushed them away, because I was in such a deep, dark pit of existence. April taught me that even when I'm left out, I'm worthy. Because in April, and actually at the end of March, the week of my birthday, I was left out in a way that it couldn't have been made any more clear. And the way that hurt, because it was people that I loved and who had said they loved me too. And the way that happened was just like added insult to injury, right? And once again, it was being misunderstood. It was being misunderstood. And relearning that I don't get to decide how I'm perceived by anyone. And to really be able to sit with that and move through the emotionality of that was a huge lesson, because prior to this year, I really did not feel my emotions. I intellectualized my emotions. So it was definitely the first 6 months of the year, lessons in feeling my fucking emotions. And May reconnected me back to my roots, my homelands, and the natural world around me. Like, because I had to find something that was a more steady foundation than what I had built for myself, because I realized I didn't even really know who I am. Had no clue who I was. So I had to go back to a lot of things. I went back to things that I was taught growing up. I went back to reconnecting with the land that my ancestors have been on since time immemorial. I had to reconnect with myself in a way that doesn't require anybody else's reflection of me. And that was really different. And I was still in that deep, dark pit. So I wasn't even leaning on spirit for anything still. What I did find is that I had people to lean on, to work through moving through that, to have someone to talk to moving through that. That's another thing this year taught me, is that I have people who do genuinely care, who did show up, who really, really showed up. And that is precious in and of itself. In June, June prepared me to fully open my heart space, so that I could live in my totality, fully feeling my emotions. And boy, did I. I didn't realize what I was being prepared for, but I was talking to spirit again. Thanks to a few people, you know who you are. We were having these conversations. You helped me reconnect back to my lifeline, back to the realest lifeline that I can have in this world. And being able to open up that heart space and live in my authenticity, because my authenticity is my heart. It was preparing me for what was to come. I had no idea. And July and August were really like my rest period coming out of that deep dark hole. I had described it to a friend, saying it's like I am in this pit, and the more spirit reaches out for me, the further into this pit I dig myself into. And I can hear and see them reaching for me, and I refuse to reach back. So coming out of that, there was a lot to just sit with and integrate and just be with. So I spent like most of July and August, even into a little bit of September, doing that. It was definitely needed, and it was necessary, and for once I didn't feel bad for it, for taking that time to rest, to integrate, to rejuvenate, like to pour into myself. And I'm so thankful I did that. So yeah, September I found the closest thing to home that exists in this human experience. And never in a million years would I have ever imagined the number of things that had to line up in order to find home. And what I realized is that home is the most comfortable place I can possibly be. My true home. My true home. Because my true home is unconditional love and acceptance. And in that state of unconditional love and unconditional acceptance is it's a comfort like no other. And to find that here on earth was very special. October. October showed me the kind of love I've been too afraid to experience my whole life. I kept myself so locked. And I'm not saying that I didn't love people. I've loved so much in my life. It's my truest state of being is love. But there was an area of my heart that I kept locked so tightly because I was so afraid of not having control over that. I was so afraid of not being in control of my own heart. It sounds wild to me to hear myself say that I was so afraid of uncontrolled love. But I'm thankful. I am thankful that I was able to experience that and experience feeling very out of control, because it taught me to surrender, and it taught me how to detach from an outcome, and it taught me how to allow things to simply be what they are. It seems simple, but it's so difficult. It is so difficult to not be in control of anything. But there's also a certain freedom in it, a certain freedom in not having control. November taught me that I am strong enough to face my greatest fear and still be completely capable and willing to go forward in life with my heart wide open. All those things that I feared could be, should I allow myself to be fully open and fully out of control. All of those things happened. And it was the greatest gift. The greatest gift to know that my biggest fears could fully happen. And I am still whole, and I am still okay, and I'm still here, and I am still open. I think that might be the biggest thing I learned this year. It was more than I could have ever imagined, and more than I could have ever asked for. And it was everything I needed. Everything. And then December. In December, I discovered who and what I really am. And I will never look at anything the same way again. And I'm so thankful for every single moment of 2024. Sorry, I'm also partially reading some of this. But more than that, I'm so thankful for every road that led me here. Stepping each day into the rest of my life more sure of myself, more open to all that is meant for me, more excited to experience the unfolding, and to be able to see that from the beginning to the end, it is all beautiful. And that's our journeys here. From the beginning to the end of it, it is all beautiful. Because it is experience. It is in the unfolding that is the true gift, not the destination. And so here I am, stepping into 2025, having already had huge things happen for me. And I look forward to so many more. And for small things, I look forward to finding friendship, to finding love, to finding myself in spaces I thought I was too small for. I look forward to delving further into my spiritual path and living my highest timeline possible, and making this my longest goodbye ever. So thank you for being here with me in 2024. And if you're still here, thanks for being here into 2025.